there, and a pleasant welcome to the National News File here on Star Television Network on Channel 21 with me, Hassan Kouma. For the headlines, the Legal Aid Board Sierra Leone has engaged a cross-section of civil society organizations and other stakeholders in various communities to strategize ways and means to sensitize people living in their communities to deviate from drugs, crime, and violence.
Inside this COVID 10 years, they don't last year no more. We don't have over 10,000 people. Look at them around now. You look in notice board.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Sierra Leone, Ambassador Koduoka, has attributed the expansion of NP in large parts of the country as a result of overreaching objectives in building the capacities of indigenous businesses in the country.
NPs all over the place. You don't hear about shortages anywhere. We have the capacity, we have the abilities, and we have the skills. So we'll continue. We'll continue. We'll take NP everywhere, every corner, every village, every district.
The commanding officer, Joint Medical Unit, Colonel Dr. Stephen Sivali, while addressing first-year students from the Department of Public Health in Sierra University, emphasized on discipline as the flag for service personnel and called on them to conduct themselves in the course of doing their job.
34 military hospital standards. And while we absorb you to get our quality field experience.
All these stories plus more lined up into this edition of the Star National News. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in details with me, Hassan Kouma. The Legal Aid Board Sierra Leone has engaged a cross-section of civil society organizations and other stakeholders in various communities to strategize ways and means to sensitize people living in their communities to deviate from drugs, crime, and violence during and after elections. Yesi Hallowell now reports.
The increase in the intake of harmful drugs is rampant in the country. As such, community stakeholders should endeavor to sensitize people living in their communities to stay away from taking drugs, especially youths, as they can engage in crime activities. The Executive Director of Legal Aid Board Sierra Leone, Fatmata Clark-Carlton Hansels, whilst making her statement, emphasized on unity, peace and oneness to be the center of development in the country. She spoke on the increase in cases at the Sierra Leone Correctional Center and some of the factors leading to cases being taken to court. She further spoke on the importance of peace during elections.
Inside this COVID 10 years, they don't last year no more. We don't have over 10,000 people. Look at them around now. You look in notice board. If not to 1,900 and something, now 2,000 some 100. Now they did it. And what are they did it? Especially the one that went down there 18 to 35 years. Then we young people that want to get a house. So possibly if you get a thief, it ain't good for talker. If possibly want talker, now why they follow by you? You won't come on here. I'm a picking no one see. You hate me. You don't want to be family. So possibly they begin to take drugs. They begin to misbehave by people. Don't they kiss the flock like legal age? Who don't get thousands of cases, hundreds of thousands of cases. Over 300,000 Nigerians. For still for talking case.
Francis Gabidon, in his statement, said these stakeholders and traditional healers are with the grassroots as they interact more with people in their communities. He pointed out that the increase of drugs in the country among young people is in the increase. He continued on the issue of kidnappers and emphasized that the public should treat it seriously.
Yesterday, I did back there, they talk for them price the way high. Both party, SLPB, APC, and call the minister yesterday. The rest they go, cement, what did they be? All them come out now with the documents, say they will try something. So we say we care. We not just sit on our oaths or sit on our office. No, anything will affect you. And think I did one thing for me. As we begin to see something, one begin go wrong with the step. I make the boss, you know, they get a meeting, I know they talk to you. You know, important because now in a day with the grassroots them, and they meet people there. Minister there, civil servant there, and not savvy people there. Now you know they meet people there. Traditional people there. So, civil society. And they talk to me about this now. Then a big civil society. And the first thing is Samia. They all them go and do. Now what you call all them one day and they make one country. So all them meet here don't take us serious. Now we have peace, now we have harmony. You're not going to wait in a peace until you have some country where one are.
William Saolamin, a civil society activist, in his statement said the parents are the reasons why some of these children are engaged in crime. Even though some parents can be religious, yet they do not instill proper home training in their children.
It really bleed all the country. This country is a problem, a societal problem. Now you problem and I mean I will have a problem. We really have a problem in this country. We blame president, we blame minister, but now we have a problem. We get picking in the house. We're already there, I'm sure. Nobody knows inside this world, we're all there, we're not a Christian or Muslim. We didn't go to church and mosques. We left for picking in the house and they watch blues. Then they watch Manchester. Then they watch Arsenal. They will take Bible and Quran, we go mosque or church, they will left in the house. Worship God. Majority of we belong to church and mosques. So I can ask myself, why really all of this problem we talk about? Rape, child abuse, election violence, and all of this. But almost all of us belong to church and mosques.
Various speakers made meaningful contributions. Reporting for Star News, I am Yessi Ernest Hallowell.
The Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Sierra Leone, Ambassador Kobe Walker, has attributed the expansion of NP in large parts of the country as a result of overreaching objectives in building the capacities of indigenous businesses, coupled with providing high petroleum products for its customers.
When speaking during the unveiling of another ultra-modern filling station, which now adds up to over 200 filling stations and still counting that NP now provides services to, the newly appointed Goodwill Ambassador, which happens to be the CEO of NPSL, Kobe Walker, attributed the ever-expanding influence of the company to its customer-centric approach coupled with the provision of high-premium products.
We have been supplying and NPs all over the place. You don't hear about shortages anywhere. We have the capacity, we have the abilities, and we have the skills. So we'll continue. We'll take NP everywhere, every corner, every village, every district. That is our passion. What I'll say is you can talk to Standard Bureau. They can attest that we, NP, we're bringing the highest quality of petroleum product into this country. The highest. And Standard Bureau is supposed to be around. You can confirm it with them.
As the official launch was awash with dozens of bike riders, Abdul Kano, a bike rider, noted that the filling station couldn't have come at a better time.
And Fambule, I dey glad today. I get gladness. Go to all my company bike man there, and we dey aboku gladi because we dey strain at this community area, this criminal area. At times where they can't left passenger, I feel he left we dey strain for push the bike, say for go them at push parts or them 5-5, we dey strain. And if you go don't count this opportunity here today, then I can open this filling station there. We tell Almighty Allah thank you. We're glad so much.
The owner of the new 5-star filling station story can be best likened to the proverbial rage of Rich's story.
I'm a day under Maminasi, the late Maminasi Olu Adin, na motorway. As workman, small thing what me they get, and I take buyer.
Even though Sierra Leone is not an oil-producing nation, yet coupled with the fluctuation of prices of petroleum products in the international market, NPSL have ensured the availability of petroleum products in the market. For Star TV News and Freetown, compiled by Alpha read by Isabella Stanley.
Now the commanding officer, Joint Medical Unit, Colonel Dr. Stephen Sivali, while addressing first-year students from the Department of Public Health in Jala University, who were sent on a 7-week job training at the 34 Military Hospital, emphasized on the discipline as the vehicle for service personnel and call on them to conduct themselves within the stipulated rules and both the medical profession as well as the military standards that guide the profession.
All nurses in this hospital. For that, she even manages community health officers. 34 military hospital has standards. And while we absorb you to get, I will call it field experience in your area of studies, it is extremely, extremely important that you adhere to the standards and doctrine of this hospital. It ranges from when you come to work and when you leave. It includes the way you engage with patients and people and patients' relatives. And your general conduct is watched. Because we believe healthcare service is not just about giving medicines. It is about care processes and how we engage people. Extremely important. This thing and notion that the way nurses conduct themselves is something we are departing from. If anything, this hospital must be different. That is why you can see there is a lot of infrastructural work going on. But that is not a new thing. The structure you see here on my left, can you see it? Yes. That structure is a nursing school in which we are going to start doing diploma in nursing. And hopefully in the near future we might escalate to doing higher degree courses in nursing. So we are serious about the health profession and we wish to inculcate those values into you. So do not be surprised if very firm actions are taken on you in the event of deviation from our own standards. This is not a typical government hospital. Let us be very clear about it. We are very, very serious about it. So I encourage you to do your best to adhere to the local standards here. Do not allow for you to be complaining to the matron in charge. Do not allow us to hear, even by the roadside, any negative report. Do not allow the patient to complain. It's very important because you want to live here with a good appraiser at the end of the day, and you do not want to be expelled from participating in your field experience in this hospital. So therefore, I encourage you to comply with the standards that I'm sure the matron is going to share with you. Otherwise, you are welcome. And I wish you the best. I don't know how long they are going to be there for. 7 weeks? Yes. Well, that's a fair time. Almost 2 months. Okay, I hope you will enjoy your experience with us. And by the time you finish, you will be motivated and aspiring to become part of us.
The Girl Child Network Sierra Leone partnership with UNICEF have concluded a 2-day training for over 75 schools within the Western urban and rural on menstrual hygiene management. Alfie Barry again.
Menstruation is a monthly shedding of the lining of a woman's uterus, commonly known as the womb. Daniel Estue, the field officer of Girl Child Network Sierra Leone, noted that the essence of the training is to educate teachers and pupils on menstrual hygiene management, which he said over time there has always been the supply of pad. He emphasized the need for all to come on board to help solve this perennial problem.
The essence of the training now for me to educate the schools, including the teachers and the pupils them, everything which they need for know on menstrual hygiene management. Because previously they could just can almost supply parts and go away, whilst at the same time it just creates a little impact, leaving the problems and we already don't exist. Where neither the reason why they decide for give them parts and they still exist at the different schools. But this training also will educate them everything what they need for know and how themselves will come on board for see how they will support the girls and when they start school, and also put an end to their problems also where don't become barriers, where don't result to girls missing school and staying at home on normal school time.
Geneva Mansare, a participant, noted that this engagement has been a learning moment for her.
Well, most of we girls, they go under this situation. Like not all of the parents that they where they can get a chance there for explain to we about this menstrual period. But like me, particularly me, from yesterday where I begin camp at this program, I don't learn a lot. Like how to take care of myself, or how to take care of yourself, even with the girls there, how to take care of yourself, and how to forget about this menstruation cycle. So like one of the things that we will need to do is that before maintain menstrual hygiene. Well, I can explain. What do we mean by menstrual hygiene? Now, thing where you go through, where you mess. The things that you need to do for protect you from any infection. Like how for change with pad or how for clean yourself whenever you mess. So all of that, let me say maybe I'm not big idea over that, but during this workshop, I can get an idea there.
Janet Hardin, a teacher of the REC Joy Primary School, said she has learned so many things during this training on menstrual hygiene, including how to use menstrual pad.
Under this training, I can learn many things. Menstruation, hygiene. Of course, you know, say hygiene, where I take care of your personal self, now personal cleaning. Then you talk about menstruation, where picking a start for mess. Where you don't start for mess, how you go do with your pad, or how if na pieces you dey use, how you go take care of the pieces, how you go use the pad. Where you done, how you get for change them. The way you done, how you get for put them. Now sometimes na school you dey, you get for put them first na plastic, you tie and there for you change them. Sometimes 2 times or sometimes 3 times. That's not by how you find out say you the blood they come up at you, how you the mess. So and you get for take them before you go carry on the disposable pit. Before you go take them for go to the way. Because some of the picking them, what makes sometimes you know can go inside the toilet, sometimes for go change them. So you can go find out sometimes one can go beg sometimes on neighbor. Because if you get sometimes inside toilet you dey change, sometimes boy picking can just pop in, especially when we get there, then school when I mix with boys and girls. Sometimes boy picking can just pop in, when you pop in sometimes he meet you dey change. So some keep picking and can shy over that.
During the climax of the program, a demonstration was done on how to use some of the reusable menstruation pads.
When they don't learn about this pad here, they say na so you for make like this, turn out oversize so you don't turn out the for clipper. So when you clipper, you turn out oversize. You straight and well one. We don't know straight after the wearer and the vagina side. Now I may learn today about this. He say, and if you don't go some side, you don't go soap, but you get other one. You just for make sure you pull this out. When you pull her out, you meet her, you put her soap. You cover her fine. When you don't cover her like this, if that plastic, you put her inside plastic. You go inside, you go, and that's me learn today about it.
For Star TV News in Freetown, Alfie Barry reporting.
In case you just tuned in, you're still watching the National News File here on Star Television Network on Channel 21 with me, Hassan Kouma. The proprietor and founder of the Royal Hotel in Makeni, Robert Yangsin, has said driven by the desire to improve on the private sector investment and the need for it to thrive compelled him to establish a hospitality outfit that will increase to the domestic investment portfolio. He spoke to Abdurrahman Kamara in this interview.
Okay, in fact, the thing is that when I first started coming here, it was in 2015, and I noticed what was going on here. So I decided to make an investment. At the time, my thought was not about actually a hotel, but when I noticed what was happening in various hotels, then I realized that, you know what, we need a facility where people can come in and then have a good facility where I can meet international standards. So that prompted me to start thinking about to promote a hotel. That's why I decided to build this hotel. You see, as I said, I've lived in the state for over 30 years. I noticed I've given so much to people in the States, students of in education. And I realized that they don't need me over there. If I have my resources, it won't mean anything to them. But if I come over here and decided to invest, my people, they need me. They need jobs. And the investments here makes a big difference in terms of improving the life of the people here. So I decided to say, you know what, let me come in here and help my people and provide jobs for them. So this is why I decided to come over here. My message to them is that people sometimes listen to the media. There's all sorts of negative things that they say about your country. Again, if you look at those things, you won't come in here. But I tell you what, if you take the bold step and decide to come, take a first-hand look at the country and have that interest in mind that this is for me to help. And that will go a long way, rather than just listen to negative adverts and negative things and talk about the country. No, Sierra Leone is a beautiful country. Nobody else can build it for us. We have to come in here and help and develop this country. We don't expect people, foreigners, to come in here and develop the country for us. No, they're not going to do that. And even if they come in just for a short time, they're going to leave. But when we as individuals, as diasporans, we come in here and do our investments, and it goes a long way to improve the economy of the country. It's not just about the politics, about this. No, come as an individual, invest the money, and it will serve a good purpose. So I'm telling those diasporans out there, please take this opportunity. Just take a try, just come and view the areas and make sure that you take a good time to investigate, see which areas you need to invest, and then come and invest. This is business. It can go either way, but I'll tell you what, it goes a long way when you try to help your own people, and people will appreciate you. In the States, nobody will appreciate you, nobody knows about you. When you bring the dollars here and you invest it, a lot of people will come and say, thank you, thank you. Even, let me tell you a short story. This, I remember a guy came from Britain with his wife, a white lady, and they went to a different hotel. And the lady had a horrible experience. The guy was so miserable. And then the next day, somebody told him about my hotel, my royal hotel. And the guy came over here, and the lady see this place. She was so impressed. She started taking pictures to send back to London. Said, this is Sierra Leone, this is Africa. The way they portray Africa outside and the way they see it now is completely different. So she was so impressed. The guy came to me. I said, man, you just saved my life. I said, what happened? He said, man, she was so impressed, and I'm so happy to see this sort of investment, because the previous night it was so horrible for me. I don't know what to say, because I was very uncomfortable where I was staying. So these are type of facilities that we try to be international standards. So that when you come from Europe, again, our slogan is home away from home. Our slogan is home away from home. Wherein, when you come in here, you feel at home, wherever you come from. This is all international standards. You come in here, we'll have a pleasant stay, we have a train our staff, and everybody is here very pleasant. So I can say to those diasporas, please, find something that you're interested in, come and invest. Well, as far as a local bank is concerned, it's just that they provide good facilities, they have good services that they provide, and they want to encourage other people so that they can take their time and search around for different banks and see where they can meet your needs. And then I think local commercial banking is one of those places where I think, from my own experience, it's good for someone to invest. Again, we're coming down to our 60th independence anniversary. I look at the country as a whole, we still have a long way to go. But again, this is the only country we have. We don't have no other Sierra Leone. So we have to make it. We have to make investments. We have to build up an infrastructure, you know. So like I said to them, please, take your time, just come. Come and invest.
Well, from that, this is all we have time for in today's edition of the Star National News here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. I am Hassan Kuruma. Thanks for watching and stay with us for the very best.